Have you ever wondered what causes hotel rates to fluctuate? Perhaps you checked into your hotel and you noticed that the first night was booked with a $139 rate, but on the second night the rate increased to $200. And you might be a little confused, maybe even agitated and angry at the price difference. In this video, we will examine revenue management practices and discover the factors that contribute to dynamic pricing. It is important to understand that hotels are businesses in a market that relies on the occupancy for the property and the rate that guests are willing to pay to stay at that property. And when I say rate, I am specifically referring to what is called the rack rate or BAR, which stands for Best Available Rate. This is a published rate for a one-night stay without any discounts or premiums added to it, and this is the price you are most likely to be quoted when you book directly with the hotel. So this is an overview of a subject property's availability over a 7-day period. And if we look at the single king room at the top, we can see that the rack rate changes quite a bit over the course of the week. It starts off at $174 on Monday and Tuesday, with a decrease on Wednesday and Thursday before an uptick in price on Friday and Saturday. The rate drops to $149 on Sunday, and on Monday the following, we are back up to $174. If you look closely at this example, you can see the total number of available rooms the hotel can sell on each day. The lower the number, the higher the property's occupancy. The hotel's forecasted or expected occupancy within a calendar year plays a major role in establishing rack rates. And there are several factors that contribute to a property's occupancy levels, including major local events, such as a concert or a car show, as well as the time of year or season, the property's location, and their nearby competition. Forecasting occupancy and room revenue typically involves examining historical data, and this data is compiled at the end of each day by the night auditor, who is responsible for balancing all front office accounts, as well as generating various operational reports. These reports describe crucial information for revenue management, including the property's occupancy percentage for that business day, as well as the average daily rate, or ADR. While occupancy percentage is calculated by dividing the total number of sold rooms by the total number of rooms available to sell for that day, ADR is calculated by dividing total room revenue by the number of rooms sold. And dividing total room revenue by the total number of available rooms to sell, you end up with the RevPAR figure, or revenue per available room. This can also be calculated by multiplying ADR and occupancy percentage. These statistics are very useful for revenue managers because they describe how well the property has performed from a financial standpoint. So as occupancy is expected to increase, rates will also increase. Whereas on days when occupancy is not expected to be as high, rates will actually decrease as a way of attracting more people to book at the property. This is often why rates are higher on weekends or when special events are scheduled. Another factor to consider is the type of target clientele or market segment that the hotel is trying to attract. Many properties receive an influx of leisure travelers on the weekends and during the summer, thus listing higher rates during those times, with hotel resorts and tourist destinations receiving peak leisure traffic. On the other hand, properties that are close to hospitals or ongoing construction projects may receive a greater share of corporate and business traffic, thus offering higher weekday rates. According to the United States Travel Association, direct travel spending accounted for $1.2 trillion in 2022, of which $837 billion was spent on domestic leisure, and a combined $255 billion was spent on domestic transit and group business. For revenue managers, knowing your competition, as well as what features and amenities your property offers, are important factors to consider when establishing competitive rates. Perhaps the best resource for revenue managers to help them analyze their property's financial performance against their competition is STR. STR, or Smith Travel Research Incorporated, is a division of CoStar Group providing premium data benchmarking analytics and marketplace insights for the global hospitality industry. A property's competition is called a competitive or comp set, and these are competing hotels selected by management to benchmark that subject property's performance. Competitive sets are based on property type, location, ratings, amenities, as well as their target clientele. And right here we have an overview of a competitive set for a subject property. We can see that subject property's lowest available rack rate in the top row. In the second row, we can see the competitive set's average rack rate, and the rows below display the rack rates for each individual hotel within the competitive set. While these properties may share a common location, the property type varies from economy to upper mid-scale. Most hotels have a swimming pool, but if Hotel 1 had a water park, they could expect a greater share of leisure traffic on Friday and Saturday due to offering a high-value amenity. As it is, most of these hotels offer their highest rates on Friday and Saturday, and some are even sold out due to the room demand from the leisure segment. The subject property, on the other hand, likely achieves its highest occupancy on Monday and Tuesday from the business segment. You can also see a minimum length of stay, or MLOS, requirement at the subject property and Hotel 1. Imposing a minimum length of stay requirement is a very useful strategy for revenue managers when they want to maximize occupancy over a given time period. Guests will only be able to book their stay for the number of nights allowed by the stay requirement, which for these properties is a minimum of 2 nights. Through STR reports, revenue managers can see their property's performance against their competitive set. This includes comparing average daily rate, occupancy percentage, and RevPAR. These are often referred to as KPIs, or Key Hotel Performance Indicators. And of these three, RevPAR is regarded as the premier performance metric, as it factors both occupancy and ADR. STR calls RevPAR the most effective metric for measuring market share and is an accurate indicator of profitability. Here we have a sample STR report comparing ADR, occupancy, and RevPAR between a subject property and its competitive set over a given time period. The third column displays the property's index, which equates to property performance divided by comp set performance multiplied by 100. An index of 100 indicates that the property has captured their fair share of the market, with lower or higher figures indicating lesser or greater market share, respectively. If we take a look at the top portion of the chart for the current month, we can see that the subject property achieved a higher RevPAR than their competitive set over the same time period, thus achieving an index above 100. This was achieved by actually reducing their rates, which in turn caused an increase in occupancy compared to the running 3-month figures. It all comes down to finding a balance between ADR and occupancy. If revenue managers drastically reduce their rates, they may very well achieve a high occupancy, but the property's financial implications would be negative due to the higher operating expenses. Alternatively, offering rates that are too high for the market will turn away potential guests who will likely spend their money at a competing hotel. So the next time you check hotel prices, I hope you will remember that hotels are not trying to price gouge you, but are instead offering rates that are flexible yet competitive for their market. There was probably a lot of thought and decision-making that went into the prices you see. Ask yourself, what time of the year will I be traveling? Will it be in the summer or on a weekend? Are there any local events happening? And where is the property located? Is it an upper mid-scale hotel in an outlying town? Or is it a busy downtown property in the heart of a large city? All of these are important factors to consider when checking rates and booking reservations. Hotels thrive when they can create lasting relationships with their guests. Properties value your business and want you to book again with them. Guests are the driving force of the hospitality industry, and without them, hotels would cease to exist. I hope you have found this video informative, whether you are a traveler or new to the hospitality industry. This is Jay Hospitality signing off.